Hello, welcome back. Debenhams is to begin permanently closing its stores today after it fell into administration. 97 stores across England and Wales reopened last month for a final closing down sale. The brand has been bought by the fashion retailer Boohoo, who will continue to run it online. Let's bring in retail analyst Kate Hardcastle and ask for her thoughts. Good afternoon to you. So what's gone wrong for Debenhams? Not just the pandemic, is it?
Hi, good afternoon. No, not at all. We've seen some of our biggest retailers, if not announce complete challenges to the way they're operating, announce plans for store closures, including John Lewis and Marks and Spencer's. And these aren't issues born just out of the pandemic. It's to do with the situation those retailers found themselves in when the real retail evolution of the last 12 months has really hit pace. So Debenhams, I think, if we summarise many different challenges over the years, and the brand has done brilliant things over the years too, probably falls into two main camps. The financial decisions the organisations took. The organisation was very focused on, a lot of the time, financial decisions for quick wins and didn't make longer term planning as a front of a priority. Certainly as well with things like leases, they took very long financial agreements, placing a bet that retail would pretty much stay the same way for years to come. And we know that the internet evolution has been such a big part of the way we shop today. But certainly it had lost the connection with what it stood for, what consumers needed from it. Now, there's been a lot of people point at Debenhams and talk about the fact it didn't move with the times, but it had quite a traditional customer, one that was very reliant on it for somewhere to go, meet friends, have a cup of tea, bathroom facilities, things that department stores did very well. And those things, I think Debenhams has always had a consistent place on our high streets to do. But it didn't do the things that it had done brilliantly over past decades. Things like designers at Debenhams, where it really shook up the fashion marketplace, bringing high-class fashions, high-name fashions to a more affordable price point. And also its diversity. It was one of the pioneers in terms of making mannequins on the shop floor representative of the sizes that people are in the UK in terms of dress size, and also diversity and ability. So I think it did a lot over the years. We should be very aware that they made good decisions, but of late, the challenges became too big.
And in trouble in 2019 when it first went into administration then.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been in and out of that hot seat over the last 5 years. The challenge is when you haven't made those investment decisions, when you haven't evolved with the times, it starts to become too costly to catch up. When you have a huge store network that all needs lighting, staff members, and we know thousands of people unfortunately affected by this, it suddenly becomes too big a battle to fight. Our high streets are full of a lot of spaces that sadly are going to become empty. Now, we know that there's a fight back, particularly with independent businesses, which is brilliant news, but they're just not going to need the same scale of space that we've left to stores. Simply put, we need human high streets that aren't just hanging their hat on retail. And so we're probably going to go through a pain through the next few years where we see a lot of holes in our high street until we've got solutions there that will be different solutions. They won't just be about retail, it'll be social activity, residential spaces.
So many gaps, of course, with so many big names falling over recent months.
That's very true. We've seen challenges from John Lewis, Marks and Spencer's. Marks and Spencer's indeed have a plan called Never the Same Again. They recognise the challenges that they have faced, and they recognise that a lot of that is the connectivity with the consumer. It's not that we should see online as separate to retail. Retail has had success in COVID times because actually retail has seen the growth of a big part of it, the online space. We've seen customers convert to that. It's how we use them together. The brilliance of retail that'll be in traditional formats in stores, it's got to be about the human touch, where there's great services like click and collect, and the engagement and the interaction that you will get from, as I said, perhaps smaller spaces operating in those retail areas, but spaces that do the job well. It'll be quality over quantity.
And very briefly, is online the way forward?
It's about both together. It's the organisations that beautifully tie up both online and offline, but certainly online will change to be human too. We'll see a lot more than just reselling of goods online. It will become very human engagement and interactivity.
And how's Boohoo's track record?
Certainly got some work to do in terms of the ethical environmental stance, and I think that's going to be something that consumers hold them to account to. But what they've done is understand that marketplace well. They've celebrated the consumers and they've made them part of the story.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed, Kate Hardcastle, as ever, for telling us. So Debenhams starting to wrap up today. Thank you.